Aaron Clark.
Yeah, sure. I'll kick off. Louise, we seen Niamh Fahey reach the milestone of 100 caps earlier in the year. Talk to us about what it'd be like to reach it for yourself.
Yeah, it just feels something that's can be very rare and a very kind of special occasion. It's stuff that you don't really think about. When I was even talking to Niamh about it last night, you don't really think about it when you're kind of going through your career, but when you start approaching the 90, you'd be like, okay, this could be something, that you'd like to have, achieved, that you've been able to kind of play for your country for 100 caps and hopefully more. And yeah, so it feels really special. It feels really special for, my family as well. It's, something they're really proud of. So they're making their way out to Spain today as well. So it's very nice for them.
In terms of this camp in Spain, obviously when the playoff happened, we weren't 100% sure what was going to happen in November, but how important is it to have this week together in this game?
Yeah, I think it's actually been incredibly important. Originally there was nothing lined up, but I just feel like getting the group back together as soon as we could to kind of, still we're going to be buzzing until the World Cup and after it, but it's nice to kind of just bring us back together. Relive some memories, and then also just get back on the pitch again to kind of, we've literally everything now we're building towards the World Cup already, to think that we're tactically doing what we need to do and just start concentrating on that. I just think it's been lovely. We had to obviously leave each other quite quick the day after the game and get back to our clubs, and so just to kind of get the group back together, it's extremely special, and it's always special when we get together, and it's always fun, and it's it's one of just the most enjoyable places to play your football. So it's just been really, really nice.
With an African opposition, you have an African team in your World Cup group. How much research have you done on the African style of football?
Listen, it's still early days a bit in terms of the real in-depth research, but I think it's ideal to be playing an African nation this week. I think just how they go about the games, how their physicality, everything towards it, I think is just perfect kind of learning for us to hopefully take forward into the Nigeria game. Nigeria have a lot of really, really talented special players that play in, top teams as well. So it's one of those that's a very difficult draw. But again, if we, when the time comes that we can, have our full squad, full performance, I still think it's 3 points we can pick up there. But again, very, very difficult. And I just think this week is then perfect to really kind of put on our minds what kind of teams will be coming forward to in Australia.
Brilliant. Thanks, Louise.
Anyone else? Dave Kelly.
How's it going? Is this an all-in job? It's all for Monday, yeah?
All for Monday, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Louise.
Hey, Dave.
Congratulations on the imminent honour. Hoping you don't fall down the stairs or twist your ankle or something.
Nice one, Dave. Yeah, you can stop talking, Dave. Yeah.
Who were the biggest inspirations? I mean, I know Jerry back home was big early on, but just in terms of people you kind of reflect on, in these quiet moments before Monday.
Could you repeat that question again? Sorry, Dave. Who's
inspirations when you were a kid? You know what I mean? Who, apart from your folks, obviously, did a lot. But I know Jerry down there, God rest him, in the local club, and just people like that. Who comes into your head?
Yeah, I suppose at that time as well, there were, there was again another kind of local player that was in Blessington and was on the fringes of the team. So Sandra Mulhall, she would have been just someone that just kind of highlighted to me that there's an Irish team there, and because it was something that I didn't get to really approach at school, and so to kind of see her develop and get to play was was really something kind of big for me. And then, you know, as soon as I was kind of starting under 14, you really start to, you know, and I do remember the likes of Emma and Niamh and Yvonne, maybe Ciara as well, came to one of our underage games. And it was like, there's the Arsenal girls, do you know what I mean? They're the girls then that play for Ireland. And, you know, and then having the opportunity to get to train with and then play beside Yvonne Tracy. For me, in terms of in the footballing world, she was massive. She was just, for me, a very, very intelligent player, knew how to read the game, talked so much from behind that, you know, it just made her job far easier. You know, and something for me that was, when I look back, that's something that has made me learn the game as best as I can, and what I can do, what I can control on the pitch is something, how I kind of communicate and talk to players around me. Yeah, so just in terms of football, yeah, that was, you know, it took a while to get to that stage. So I wasn't that young. You know, I was still 16, 17, 18. And that's kind of when, you know, these unbelievable women and players kind of came into life for me. Obviously, it'd be nice to have it earlier, and that's the pathway we're trying to create, is to be role models, is to kind of hit as many teams, communities, girls, boys, just to show that wherever you're from in your little town or big city in Ireland, that, you know, you can achieve it and get to a World Cup. Yeah, and just I'm presuming your greatest landmark in a green shirt is to come. It's ahead of you. But in terms of looking back again, any landmark, does anything particularly stand out? I mean, obviously there's a fair clatter of goals in there, but is there anything that kind of stands out in terms of you know, one kind of memory before you make new ones, please God, next year? Like for me, and it's one as well, like that always kind of, yeah, stood out for the family, and it's one of the jerseys I have hanging up in my house. It was the Germany game in Tallaght. I think that was, so we lost 3-2 in the last kind of couple of minutes. And again, yes, thankfully, off Megan Campbell's throw in, I scored a goal in the first 2 minutes, and I think we were all in shock, absolute shock, but made it to half time. You know, still 1-0. Then the game developed. I gave away a penalty. Very soft penalty, but I gave away a penalty. Then again, yeah, they went 2-1 up. Again, Megan Campbell's throw, Steph Roach gets her toe on the end of it as well, back to 2-2. And then it's tough then. It was kind of like the elements then took it away from us. It was, you know, a cross from wide, and, you know, something that at Tallaght at the time, obviously when that other stand at the end wasn't there, everyone knows that gust of wind that used to come through Tallaght at that stage. Yeah, it just kind of, it put the ball off, and it turned what was going to be one of our biggest results, you know, still into another loss that we were, you know, against these big nations that we'd, you know, were kind of becoming too familiar with. But I just think for me, it was a game of, yeah, pure, the most up and down game of every feeling, you know, scoring a goal to giving away a penalty to scoring, Steph Roach scoring in the 89th minute. It was just a massive learning game for me about what international football is and how great and cruel football can be in 90 minutes. You know, for all these things to happen in 90 minutes, it was just ridiculous. You know, and so that for me, it was, yeah, one of those performances that we were really, really proud of, because the performance was actually brilliant. Like, it was really, really top stuff. But then just to lose it so cruelly. But that for me was just kind of, I wanted to feel those feelings again of the joy, but then, yeah, the heartbreak again was just something that you wanted to, yeah, as we're saying, not feel again, and another learning curve.
Great. I'll let the lads jump on. Thanks for the moment. Thank you. Gavin?
Morning, Louise. How's it going?
Hi, Gav.
Just checking, have you kind of sat down yet and mapped out the next 6 months, like obviously a lot of teams would have their plans in place, as Vera noted, and friendlies in place. Have you kind of started to put, is this camp been about kind of mapping out what comes next?
Yeah, in bits and bobs. It's good for us just to get some information about what will potentially be happening, and that's even when it comes to the tournament itself. Just getting a little idea for us of what, in terms of media wise, what we have to do in terms of the clothing or the unbranded hit, all of this sort of just little information that just gets you thinking. And for us as well, we know that we have more international breaks in February, April, etc. So we know that we were going to be in at that stage as well. So I just think it's still something that's pending and that we're figuring out. But they've really kind of set some dates and let us know as well potentially when we could be coming into camp. Closer to the World Cup as well. It will be, again, for most players, end of their season. So again, it's just about how we build ourselves back up, and we've had great practice of doing it this year when we went to Turkey. So it's something that's thankfully now something that we're more familiar with, and that we'll know kind of how to handle more, because it was obviously very difficult to know how much time you needed to take a break for yourself physically and mentally. But then also just enough that you were still ticking over and be able to kind of tip into the Georgia game that we did.
Yeah, because I imagine the joy of qualification is quickly overtaken by, oh God, we're playing the hosts in the opening game, and about being successful. Is that sort of the overtake the we got here feeling?
Yeah. I think you sound more nervous than us. I think we're thrilled to be playing the host, to be honest. I think for me that's for a first tournament. Again, previous results that we've had against Australia. I think it's just that's the best experience we can have. And again, Australia, there's as from something I've read as well, that Ireland were the next in line for the most tickets requested, and that's included. My sister lives in Melbourne, so all her friends are on that. When the tickets went on sale through FIFA, I had about 3 or 4 messages from friends that are over there saying they got their tickets, and this was at 3 o'clock in the morning. They were texting me 3, 4 in the morning. So I just feel like, for me, it's if the tournament wasn't in Ireland, I think the next best place is probably Australia for us to get our fans there and to make that experience just as special as it can be, and to play the hosts in front of in Sydney in front of a full stadium. That's just I'm just ridiculously excited for that. I need to calm down.
Are you telling me there's Irish people pretending to be Australians to get into the stadium? Yeah, like the Giant Stadium back in the day when it was all Irish.
Yeah, whatever it takes. We'll get through. We'll be making sure that they'll be there, no problem. I'd say they'll be pretty good at their Aussie accents soon enough. So.
Good stuff. Thanks. Good luck on Monday.
Thank you.
John Fallon.
There's a couple of hands up as well. Yeah. Mark.
Kelsar, sorry.
Hey Louise, how you doing?
Yeah.
Just do you remember your debut? I think it was in Baldonnel, wasn't it? Like you came on for a minute.
So it was in who was St. Francis's pitch at the time. Yeah. So against Poland, we won the game 4-1, and I came on for Ní Fahí for probably a whole minute and a half, I think. I'm not sure. In around that, but it was just I do remember the moment of just my dad rocking up, driving me to there. We were also playing at that stage the rivals pitch, which St. Francis Peamount at the time was a big rivalry. And I just remember tentatively going into the changing room and seeing everyone, and the likes of Ciara Grant, Emma Byrne, all of them, and I just didn't know where to go, where to sit, what to do. I was just kind of probably waiting for someone to tell me, and but yeah, so that was just when you think of it there, it was obviously so nerve-wracking, but it was the excitement was too much. And I suppose I was going there not thinking that I was going to be, even to go on for a minute, but I would I'd never take that moment away. I think just getting to go on in a moment where the game has generally been put to bed, and we were just in a good place to then just get a little bit of a run around. I potentially touched the ball once, headed it, I think, which then just speaks for itself about my career, to be honest. And that was it was just something really, really special. It's you wish sometimes you could remember a little bit more about it, but I just remember being in the dressing room. I just remember being on the side, probably warming up for 60, 70 minutes in the hope that I got on. But and then obviously that was Ní Fahí as well, I think makes it extra special here.
Yeah, and I think that was just before the playoff as well. Were you coming in back then thinking this international arc's going to be easy, it's going to be this all the time, and now what are we, 14 years later?
Yeah, listen, that was it was just before the playoff, and I think at that stage I kind of maybe I was unsure of the scale of senior international football, to be honest. I really was. I think you're just kind of sometimes you're just kind of thrown in. Obviously, I was playing underage. I played under 17, under 19, captain the under 19 side. But I just think then when you get to that stage where it's a playoff in a Euros, you're kind of like, right, wow. And then that was one of the first televised games as well for the Irish team. I think it was on Eurosport. So that was something where that stage of my life happened, but then I was out for a good year or so then out of the senior setup. And it was obviously stuff that I had to work on personally, and wanted to have more drive to go and get it, and that was kind of exactly what I did. And I think missing out then on just post that, I think there was the camp they had in America. I thought that was it. Now I'm out. This is the change of what's going to happen to the Irish team, and I don't know how I'm going to get back in. So I was devastated. I was really, really devastated. But then I think that just drove me on to want to do more and be more, and be a part of it on a constant, and that was me. Then I kind of shaped my club careers then around that. You kind of, at that stage I was 18, you have opportunities to go to America and play abroad, and I just didn't want to do that, because I thought then if I did that I wouldn't have a chance with the Irish team then. Just being so far away, not being a starting player at all, being very far away from that. So that's why I wanted to kind of stay in Ireland, Champions League, and then start to go professional. So I have shaped a lot of my decisions towards playing for the national team.
All right. Thanks, Louise. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Mark.
Cool. How's it going, Louise? All right?
I'm good, Mark.
Good stuff. Gav obviously didn't make you nervous about the Australians, so I'm going to try my luck. Did you see anything on Twitter about their game against Sweden this morning, a 4-0 win? A couple of good goals.
Yeah. I just saw them having a dig at the Swedes via ABBA lyrics as well. That was the main thing we were talking about this morning. But no, that was we obviously saw the result, and they're flying. Obviously, a few of their individual players are playing the best of their career. Sam Kerr, Caitlin Ford, to be really specific, and that's something that. Listen, that's now. We'll see how we're faring in a few months' time, and how they're faring. I just think the occasion as well, that it's their home tournament in the first game. I just think it's a massive opportunity. I think the occasion is going to be something else, and again, we've shown that we can compete against these top teams. We make it really, really difficult. You know, Australia are going to have their own worries about us. That we were able to properly go toe to toe with them. And yes, they did have a few players missing, but again, it's something that we're getting stronger and stronger each time we see each other. So yeah, that's good result for them. The Swedes were maybe jet lagged as well. So well, no, it was still a massive. They're a fantastic team. They really are. So it's we just can't wait to kind of get going and put ourselves against them and the Olympic champions, and then one of the best teams in Africa. I just think it's, you know, at the moment anyway, I just don't feel phased by it. Just can't wait to put ourselves on that stage.
Does something like that whet the appetite even more when you kind of see the kind of talent that you'll be, you know, sharing the world stage with?
Yeah, I just think it's very exciting just going into the unknown, or hearing what you hear about certain tournaments, you know, teammates that have gone away. And thankfully, you know, and hopefully for us, it's not going to be us just watching it on the TV. You know, we're going to fully embrace it and just do ourselves proud. And I just think, the Irish people, again, we love a World Cup. We love the excitement of it. The games are at, you know, very reasonable times for us as well. You know, I remember the same being in, which one was it, 2002, and I remember even being in the pub at that age, like watching the World Cup. You know, obviously very, very monitored, but going in. But I remember the atmosphere. I remember what it was like. It was so special. You know, just to watch on the big screen, to kind of be immersed in that kind of crowd of people with just so much joy about, you know, just these tournaments. So for us, we just want to make the most of it and compete and know that we really, really can put, you know, top performances in, and we've just got to carry on what we've been doing the last year or two.
Teddy, cheers. Thanks, man, and best of luck now on Monday.
Thanks. John.
Yeah, thanks, Garrett. Yeah, Louise, how you doing?
Thanks.
Congratulations in advance. Hit the century, just a couple. You mentioned Sam Kerr there. Just I know you got the winner against them last year, but what's your record been like against her? I know you had a few battles with Arsenal as well.
Yeah, the record, I'd say she is winning, to be honest. I'd say she's fairly on top of that, but listen, it was something there where, yes, it was great to get the winner in that game. It was so important for us to kind of carry that momentum. But for me, the main target was to not let a player like her, and whoever their number 9 is or striker is, to not let them score. And that was my goal for that. And obviously, listen, last year we played Chelsea 4 times, I think, with Birmingham. And I'm fairly sure she got a couple again. But listen, she is, you know, the best striker in the world right now. She scores goals for fun. But I love that challenge. I think it's something as well where both aerially we'd really put each other under pressure both ways. You know, defensively attacking. That's someone who I want to challenge myself against all the time. So listen, I can't wait to play against Sam again, to be honest. It potentially won't be happening in the league unless we get them in the cup. So I'll bide my time until July then.
And just finally, like we've spoken a lot about your moments in the green shirt, particularly on the field, but how proud were you to be part of the movement in 2017, one of the brave ones who stood up and was there in the group in Liberty Hall?
Listen, it's for us, it's still to say that it was like over 5 years ago. It's still actually really, really kind of fresh, fresh for us. And I remember a lot of the details of that, and it was just extremely powerful. I just think when that was done, and I suppose almost regardless what would have happened from it, it just really solidified the group in every way possible, the best way possible. It was the sticking together, it was discussing, it was getting into conversations that, you know, people had maybe never had before. And we were all just trying to and wanting to do it for the greater good. And, you know, that was something obviously that Emma Byrne, she was, you know, really top of that, kind of putting her career on the line, but she wanted it because she wanted that for the Irish team. She never got to really achieve that herself, obviously personally and club wise. She was, you know, again, one of the best for that, but for the national team, she wanted that to happen. And now to get to see her then after the Scotland game, and again, I just got to talk to her and just reiterate, you know, what I think of her, what we think of her, that, you know, she still gets mentioned in every single camp, no matter what. And we're obviously making sure that, you know, the younger girls coming through know what, you know, kind of have an idea of what we had to do in 2017 for this exact moment. And we've needed everyone to get on board. You know, it wasn't then just us and the FAI. We needed you guys, the media, to get on board. We needed the fans, we needed the Irish people, we needed companies and everything to believe in us. And that's, you know, that's come to fruition now. And it's I just think without that day and that moment, I'm not sure we'd be here. So yeah, it was, you know, that's something that we, you know, we'll cherish forever. And I think that's, you know, that moment and all those players that shared that moment, that's changed women's football in Ireland forever. And we've been able to continue it on. And I know the girls then that that are coming through will do the same thing.
And just finally on that, like you mentioned about Emma risking her career, like, was that a discussion amongst yourselves even that this could have repercussions? Like you see what happened recently with the Spanish squad, you know, basically all getting banished for standing up. But was that a fear amongst you?
I think obviously at the time it hadn't really come up, and then, you know, it could have been something that obviously Emma then mentions, but you're like, no, like, of course it won't, and it's this, that, and the other. But it does have some repercussions, I think. But she was, you know, willing to do it either way, to be honest. You know, she wanted that, but it was, yeah, listen, it was, I think it was stuff as well that our families were also could have been fearful about. I know kind of, you know, my family were, just a little bit worried of what may happen if it didn't go down well. We had no idea, and that was the scary part. We didn't know what the reaction was going to be. We didn't know if people cared that much, because at that stage it was kind of being shown that some people in the association, it felt like they didn't care as much. It was a tick box situation to have the women's team, and we'll see how they go on. But then, yeah, as soon as it was happening, then to get kind of the public and the fans and everyone kind of behind us, that was then the turning point of, actually, do you know what, people care, and there is a place for this. And it's, you know, it's been shown all over Europe and worldwide that, you know, women's football is massive. It's appreciated, it's wanted, it's loved. And yeah, so yeah, listen, it was just one of those things at the time. You didn't know, we just didn't know. But it was worth the risk.